131 years. That's how long it will take us to close the global gender gap, which means our children and their children will never experience equality ever in their lifetimes unless we rewrite that script today. A young girl was walking down the sunlit corridor of her college. In her hands, she was holding her engineering degree certificate that declared her as a second rank holder in a university of more than 100 colleges. She was excited, beaming with pride, ready to share this news with her friends and family and celebrate it with them. That's when she hears a laughter behind her. A group of young boys from her class, not missing the opportunity to audition for the Dream Crushers of the year, whispers just loud enough for her to hear. Hey man, why is she trying so hard? Why? Because at the end of the day, she's just going to use this certificate to light up the stove while she cooks for her husband. Yeah, it didn't sound any better in my native language. So by now, you would have guessed that girl was me. And that was my first encounter with the script, which still decides who can and who must. I was born in the 1980s into an Orthodox Muslim family in India. But here is a twist. The women in my family, they were empowered much before feminism became a hashtag. My maternal grandmother was one among the first few Muslim women to go to college in Kerala in the 1940s. My paternal grandmother, she used to ask me this question every single time I met her for vacation. മോൾക്ക് വലുതാവുമ്പോൾ എന്താവാനാണ് ആഗ്രഹം? What would you like to be when you grow up? What is your dream? And me being that dramatic little child would say something like, secret agent, crime journalist, or something dangerous. Yeah, I didn't become either of them, though I joined the corporates. I don't chase criminals, but I do chase deadlines with just a PowerPoint and a coffee in my hands. So my grandmother used to smile at me and say, you can be anything you want. Just remember that you have the strength inside you. Those were the women in my family who taught me to dream. My grandmothers, my mother, my aunts. And the men in my family, they showed me the way. So I grew up believing that the world would believe in me as they did. But that corridor moment, it completely changed the way I think about the world. Because here is the truth. The script for women has long been you can't. You can't. And that script, it shows up everywhere. It shows up in industries where safety tests were done on men, leaving women 75% more probable to die in a car crash due to safety belt concerns. It turns up in medicine where until 1994, women were excluded from clinical trials because men were considered to be default humans. It shows up in every system, every tool that was never designed with women in mind. And that script, it has been here for a very long time. And it shapes everything. I mean, everything. From our classrooms to our boardrooms to our workplaces and even our homes. Because it isn't personal. It is systemic. And that script, it has a name. Patriarchy. So if that's how patriarchy looks like for women, let's turn the page and see how men are written into that script. For a long time, I believed men had it easier. Like many other women in this room, I thought, I wish I was a man and my life would be simpler. Because on the surface, they seem to have it all. the power, the privilege, the freedom. But here is a truth. It's all an illusion. Because patriarchy don't just crown men, it cages them too. And it starts very early, from the time a boy is told, don't cry, be a man. Or as a teenager, he hears, real men don't show weakness, bro. Or as an adult, he wears an invisible armor, expected to provide, protect, never falter, never fear, never fail. And weight of that script is crushing. I have seen the cost of it up close too. Husbands lost to depression, even suicide. And the numbers, they tell the same story. Men makes up to 75% of the suicide cases worldwide, yet they are half likely to seek mental health support compared to women. Some would rather take their own lives than ask for help. Why? Patriarchy don't just give men expectations, it gives men ultimatums. So while women are denied opportunities, men are denied vulnerability. While women are held down by ceilings, men are crushed down by expectations. And while patriarchy tells women you can't, it tells men you must. You must. And that's the thing about patriarchy. It doesn't favor one gender at all. It fails us all. So if patriarchy is the villain, how do we fight it? How? The answer begins with our next generation. The stories we tell our children. I'm a mother of twin baby boys, and I think about this every single day. Because patriarchy isn't just written into our laws and policies, it is written into our lullabies, into our classroom expectations, into the casual jokes we crack at the dinner table. And it's also written into our own minds. Let's do a quick experiment. Are you all ready? I can't see most of you, but yeah. Great. I would like you to take a moment, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Relax and feel grounded. Now I would like you to imagine a CEO of a multinational company. How does that person look? What does that person wear? Imagine a CEO. Now imagine a professor teaching a class. Picture a professor. Next, go ahead and imagine a teacher. Do the same, picture a teacher. And finally, imagine a nurse taking care of their patients. Now, keeping all of these images in your mind, raise your left hand up if the CEO or the professor you imagined was a man. Now, keeping your left hand up, raise your right hand up if the teacher or the nurse you imagined was a woman. Now, open your eyes and look around. This is the script inside all of us. This is unconscious bias. I have caught my bias multiple times when I used to see a stay-at-home dad or a man who is shorter than his wife. There was this teeny tiny voice in my head which said, could be difficult for him. That's how deep the script is inside all of us. So if I am not conscious, I will pass on that script to my children, my twin baby boys. The script which says boys don't cry, success is money, and worth is providing. And isn't that how the script is always passed on? Not by law, but by habit. And that's exactly why the change begins with us having the courage to write a new script today, at our homes, in our schools, in our society. Now, there is another child we are racing together. We are all racing together. One that learns much quicker than us, One that listens to every single word we say, every single bias we have ever had, and every single stereotype we have ever reinforced. And that child is AI. So if we are not careful, AI will now inherit that old script and will become the most powerful amplifier of patriarchy we are already trapped in. So here is a choice before us. Here is a choice. Repeat the past by raising our children and our machines in that same old script which tells you, women you can't and men you must, or write a new one. One where girls can also lead and boys can also feel, and our worth is no longer determined by our gender or our income. One where AI is raised with care, reflects the world we want, and not the one we inherited. So how do we raise AI in this new script? Here are 3 ways we can do that. First, audit the data, not just the code. Because if the data with which AI is trained is dirty, our future is going to be dirty too. Second, build AI with diverse voices at the table. Because if only one kind of person builds our future, then only one kind of future gets built. And finally, hold AI accountable. Because power without responsibility isn't innovation. It is just an automation of injustice. So if we are raising intelligence, let's raise it with intention. And when we do that, AI will no longer be a child of patriarchy. It will be the architect of equality. So here is my call to you today. Be a co-author of your future. And remember, every single line you write today will define the world our children and our machines will live in tomorrow. So let's write a new script, one that is written in care, not conformity, in courage, one that is written in care, not control, in courage, not conformity. A script that breaks all barriers and will unlock unlimited possibilities. And when we do that, and when we succeed in that, it's no longer going to take us 131 years to achieve equality. Because equality doesn't arrive with time, it arrives with us having that courage to write a new script today. And that script will not only free our women from patriarchy, but will free our men too. Because the future should no longer tell women you can't and men you must. Instead, it should tell all of us. You can.